You're listening to the Open Books Podcast.
Your next chapter starts now.
Is it love, 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 love that I'm feeling? Is it love, 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 love that I'm feeling? Is she the one?
Hello, and welcome back to the Open Books Podcast. Have y'all missed us? It's been a hot second.
We're back. But it's been so long since we read this book.
I know.
So, a whole month.
Oh my God. Like, it's May.
I know we've talked about this like a million times, but when time goes past after you read a book, you forget everything that was in the book. I remember the feeling that a book gave me and like how I felt when I was reading it, if I enjoyed it or not, but I don't remember the plot. Like, who are the characters?
See, and I remember enjoying this book, and I only because I was telling my mom, because she was like, what book are y'all doing? I'm like, The Drowning Woman. And she was like, oh, is that the one where the husband takes whatever? I'm like, girl, no. This is the one where your girl thought she was trying to drown herself, but really she was trying to get on a boat, and it was just...
Yes, we're going to get into that because my nanny has the same thought. And usually my nanny loves all the books that we love. Like, she's totally like on our speed. And I remember she texted me and was like, oh my God, I literally can't finish The Drowning Woman. I hate it. And I was like,
is it
what?
weird? I don't remember hating it.
I don't either. But
I liked it, I think.
I think so too, but I was reviewing the summary because like we said, it's been a while since we read it. So I was reviewing the summary, and then like after I read it all, I was like, maybe I didn't like it as much. So I guess you'll have to see how you felt when it's all over.
It's going to be like the first time again.
For the first time in forever.
Too.
Did you ever watch the follow-up Frozens though? Frozen 2, I even think there's a 3.
I watched Frozen 2, and I watched nothing else after that.
Yeah, I don't think they hit after that came out. It was like...
Except for Toy Story.
You watched all the others?
They all slap.
I never was
They're
like,
so
I never got into
good.
Toy Story. Okay.
So I have like these extensive list of movies that I want to like force you to watch.
Please do.
Because I feel like you would like them so much.
Yeah.
Like, what was the one, Unfaithful?
Yeah.
Did you ever get to watch it?
No, I didn't.
My God, Colby.
Wait, or what's the one you were telling me about with Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon?
Fear.
I almost watched that one.
Y'all, if you've seen the movie Fear, all the movies I'm talking about are always like 1990 through like 2005. Like,
and I have to get over that because it's a barrier that I have.
What Lies Beneath? Have you ever watched it?
No.
Oh my gosh,
No.
you have to watch these. Cold Creek Manor. I'm making a list, and every single person that listens to this needs to watch these movies. Like,
You guys have homework coming up.
get ready.
Okay, so back to The Drowning Woman.
Yes.
We read this about a month ago. We forgot a lot of it. So that's our bad. That's our B. And this was, we just live and learn. And this was a lesson that like, bitch, record the episode after you read the book.
Which honestly kind of like leads us to like our newness going into season 2.
Yep. Which is once a week episode.
Yeah.
And we're sticking to it.
We are.
Sticking to it. Yeah. Every Thursday night.
Getting to it. Yeah.
But it's so important, I think, to talk about right after you finish because it's so fresh in your mind. And
you're excited about it.
Exactly.
After a while, I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't really.
You're not invested anymore.
Right. Like, I don't care to talk about this book.
Okay, well.
Let's do it.
Let's see if the summary brings it back to us, and we'll see if we can find words. So, The Drowning Woman. This story was told from 2 points of view. We had our protagonist named Lee Gulliver and our other main narrator named Hazel Laval. Okay, it's coming back. I remember Lee and Hazel. Okay.
Lee and Hazel.
The point of views are told in pretty hefty chapters, so this summary probably won't be exactly linear to how the book was written. There were lots of lies, deceits, and plot twists in this novel, so I'll just tell the story from both girls, and hopefully by the end of it, it'll kind of all come together. So I do remember that now, like they flip-flop perspectives. But it would be like big chunks of Lee and big chunks of Hazel.
Yes.
So I think I'm just going to tell like both of their stories.
And they kind of were like on a continuum.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's start with Lee Gulliver. Gulliver? Yeah. Lee has found herself in a really harsh and dire situation after she lost her restaurant, went broke, and was exiled by her own family. Lee was a owner of a successful restaurant, but after COVID reaped its way through the economy, she slowly lost everything she had. She got involved with some bad and dangerous people to try and pay for her business, but she ended up being unable to pay back her debts. Hazel had a sister who was engaged to a man who walked into her restaurant with another woman. So in a desperate attempt, Hazel decided to blackmail her future brother-in-law and ask him for money in exchange for keeping his secret from her sister. Well, he ends up telling his sister, who forgives him for his cheating but cuts ties with Lee for the blackmail plot. Her life after that kind of just spirals, and she finds herself totally broke, out of a job, and owing a lot of money to a lot of bad people. So she packs up what little she has in her Toyota car and travels as far away as she can. She makes it to Seattle and finds a job working night shift at a sketchy overnight diner. She hardly makes any tips, but it's enough for her to survive, at least for now. She parks her car and sleeps in it at night with a knife in her hand. One night, her car is broken into and her purse is stolen, leaving Lee even more terrified, alone, and without anything. She does what she can to survive, like showering at public pools and eating food at the diner she works at. She found a quaint and quiet spot to park at and sleep at night, which was right next to a private beach in an extremely rich neighborhood. One early morning, Lee sees a woman at the beach drowning. She runs to the beach and saves the woman, who tells her that her name is Hazel and that she actually wanted to die, so she was committing suicide. The girls sit together, shivering from the cold, and connect in a pretty weird way. Both girls, we find out, are running from something extremely dark and scary. They part ways that morning, but Hazel returns to Lee's car the next day and all the days after with breakfast and companionship. They spark up a unique friendship, and Hazel opens up to Lee, telling her that her husband is a criminal defense lawyer who's really powerful, and they maintain a toxic relationship where he, whose name is Ben, has total power over Hazel. When they first met, it was more of a BDSM type of relationship, but slowly Ben became more dark and abusive, and he was really rich. He told Hazel that if she married him, he would pay for her sick mother to live in a top-notch nursing home, so Hazel did it in turn for her mom. Over the years, Hazel lost all sense of self within her marriage. Ben was both verbally and physically abusive to her. She wanted to drown herself that morning because she saw no other way out. Okay, so Hazel gets with Jesse, and they form this relationship where she's cheating on Ben, her abusive husband, and she's sneaking off with him all the time when they go to the quote-unquote gym, or when she goes to the gym. Okay, so Hazel and Lee develop a friendship. They talk to each other every morning. She brings her breakfast, and Lee meets Jesse, the same Jesse that we had talked about before, at the diner.
Yes.
No, she actually meets him at a car shop when she's like super sick. You remember that? And he like offers her a bite of like an orange or something. Orange. Yeah. So he offers her like a bite of an orange and comes back to the diner.
Yes. Is that when she was getting her window fixed or something? Okay.
Yes. So this guy, Jesse, sees Lee, at the car shop. She's like super sick. And she was sick because the day before she had saved Hazel from the water and whatever. She got really sick. So after they had met at that chance encounter, Jesse keeps going back to the diner. Okay. Jesse provides Lee with like a warm bed, a little bit of hope. But Lee isn't very honest with him about her situation. Like, I don't think he knows she's homeless. And she kind of starts to feel like a little bit better. And she also opens up to her newfound friend, Hazel, about her relationship with Jesse. So one day, Hazel offers to pay for a full spa day for Lee as an apology for treating her badly when they ran into each other. So what happened was Hazel ran into Lee with her rich friends, and Lee was like, hey. And Hazel pretended like she didn't know who Lee was. She was like, peasant, I can't be bothered with you.
She was up for that.
She was rude. Yes, she really was. She was like, I literally don't know you. Oh, she was like, here's some money. Like, go away.
Like she was a
hobo.
Yeah.
Which like low-key she kind of was. But still, they were friends.
They were friends.
So anyway, Hazel felt really bad about that. She offers to pay for Lee to go and get this like full spa. So she does. She gets a fresh haircut from Hazel's hairdresser. But when Lee goes to pay for it, it's not paid for like Hazel promised. So Lee, being fully broke, starts to panic and calls Hazel over and over again, who doesn't answer. So we start to think, okay, Hazel's like being a liar. Like this is like the first little indication that you're like, wait, what's going on? So Hazel ends up actually, though, and saves the day. But she has a giant black eye. So they get in the car and Hazel tells Lee that Ben hit her really badly and that was the final straw. She finally wants to escape. She asks Lee to create a plan with her to get Hazel out of her relationship and get Lee the life she deserves. So the plan is Hazel and Lee will meet at the gym where Hazel works, one of the only places she's allowed to go. And Lee, who now resembles Hazel because of the haircut she just got, they'll trade clothes and Lee will go back to Hazel's house and disguise herself as Hazel. She's going to try to like trick the cameras and just in case Ben is watching. So in her house, she's going to find a huge envelope with a chunk of cash for her to start a new life and distract the cameras for just enough time that Hazel can make it to the airport and escape. It's a risky plan, but it's a win for both girls. Lee agrees to go through with it. She thinks like, okay, this is it. She opens up the drawer. She finds the envelope. She's about to go. But then she runs into a dead body. And the dead body there is none other than her boyfriend, Jesse. Okay, so now we're going to go back to Hazel's point of view. We relive all the same events from the first half of the book, but through Hazel's perspective. So Hazel was telling the truth about her life with Ben. He really was an abusive husband. But Hazel also was having a secret affair with Jesse. So you see, Jesse was playing Lee the whole time. He never really was into her, questionable, but he was mostly just playing Lee to get Hazel's plan concocted, basically. So Jesse and Hazel were actually coming up with a plan to frame Lee for Ben's murder and ride away off into the sunset with each other. What they were going to do was at first fake Hazel's death by drowning, but that was the morning that Lee came and found her. Hazel's original plan was to fake her death, and Jesse was supposed to pick her up in a boat and they were going to go away. Mm-hmm. But obviously that all kind of came, crashing down when Lee intervened. So it was Jesse who decided to, form a fake relationship with Lee as a new way to bait her and a plan to escape. So they decided to trick Lee into going into Hazel's house that day, thinking she was helping Hazel, but really Jesse was going to kill Ben and then frame Lee for the murder. But Ben ended up getting to Jesse first with his secretary or his bodyguard. Mm-hmm. He ended up murdering Jesse anyway. So that's why he was dead that day. That Jesse's obviously not who she thought he was because the reality of their whole relationship didn't make any sense. Basically, he was just luring in Lee as a part of their plan to trick her while also having sex with her and lying to Hazel about it. His behavior definitely started to turn for the worse with Hazel, and she realizes that Jesse is probably not any better than Ben. So he kind of starts to act aggressive. Jesse find out that Jesse went to jail for breaking and entering and assault. So everything kind of starts coming to light. Yep. And Jesse is like this really shitty person. He was like a criminal too. The reason that Jesse and Ben knew each other was because he was his defense attorney. I'm just going to wrap it up with my memory because this book is confusing as hell. Reading this,
I'll try to fill in any gaps if
piggyback.
We'll piggyback off each
jump
other.
off one another.
Like a nice round table, if you will.
Because it's like a Socratic seminar.
It's a Socratic seminar.
Because now, like reading through this, I'm like, what happened in this book? It is so confusing.
Okay, where do we?
So
what just happened?
We're at the part where the plan is in effect, and Lee thinks that she's doing this elaborate plan to help her friend Hazel. But then she goes in and finds her boyfriend dead inside of Hazel's house. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? So then we find out kind of like the truth. So the truth was that Jesse was a criminal.
Yes.
He was in jail for like assault and robbery. And Ben, Hazel's husband, the abuser, was his criminal defense attorney.
Yes.
So they formed a relationship. That's what happened. They formed a relationship, and Ben actually was like 5 steps ahead of Hazel the entire time and was concocting a plan with Jesse to Ben concocted a plan with Jesse to murder Hazel this whole time. So
yes, for money, for however much.
Yes. So Hazel thought she was having an affair with Jesse because they were in love. Really, Jesse was just attaching himself to Hazel to complete this plan to murder her. And it was like something to help him out, whatever. Like he was going to maybe get him off or something. Mm-hmm. Whatever Ben could do for Jesse, Jesse was going to kill Hazel for it.
Yes.
So then the plan doesn't work. I wonder how Jesse and Hazel ended up coming up with the plan to kill Ben. Maybe he decided to do that. Maybe Jesse decided to turn on Ben in that moment anyway. Either way, Ben knew what Jesse and Hazel were doing.
Right.
So that's how Jesse got murdered in the house. That's where Lee found him. So then Lee finds out all this information about Jesse. She finds out like that he had a brother. The brother told her that he's a criminal. You got to be careful, blah, blah, blah. So Lee ends up like escaping the house, and Ben contacts Lee. Remember, he gives her like a bunch of money and was like, go away. And he gave her like a fake ID and stuff, passport, whatever.
Yes. Didn't he also kidnap her mom from
the
nursing home?
Yeah, he kidnapped Hazel's mom.
Lee's mom, right?
No, Hazel's mom was the one who was in the nursing home.
Hazel's mom. Okay.
Yeah. Which, like, that was another, like,
Yes,
whole
'cause
plot
Lee's,
point.
Lee's people are like in New York or
Yeah,
whatever.
and they, like,
Okay.
completely shunned her. That Ben has a plan to kill Hazel. So she wants to help her out a little bit. Because she finds these tapes between Ben and Jesse where they're concocting Hazel's murder. So she goes and she, like, secretly drops off the tapes to the police. The police come to arrest Ben on conspiracy to murder his wife. So Hazel then finds out the truth that Ben was actually going to murder her the whole time. Jesse never loved her. And Ben is in jail. He ends up, like, getting released, so she's, like, super scared. Lee does take the money. She goes away. I forget where she was going, like, somewhere tropical, I think.
Yes.
She goes away, starts a new life. Hazel does the same thing before Ben gets out of jail. She goes away. They meet up with each other in this place, and they're, like, both have different names, and it's kind of, like, left to us to think, are they going to, like, continue their friendship and start a new life together or not? It's kind of left on the fact that they probably will. So both girls make it out alive. Jesse's dead. Ben does not get away with his murder for hire plot. And that's was
really
the
it.
book. Yeah, that was it.
Damn.
Yeah, reading that summary, I'm like, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh.
Yeah. This is a lesson learned. Like, we have to talk about
This is
the
a
books.
lesson learned for us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your patience.
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Okay. You ready to try to do
Let's try.
some sort of analysis? Whose point of view did you enjoy reading more?
I enjoyed Lee's point of view more, and it is kind of coming back to me. I liked finding out how she was able to live her life as a homeless person. Like,
Completely agree.
yeah, I thought it was interesting, like hearing the different ways that she was finding to take a shower, get food.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been fascinated by that, and this might be weird, but I've always been fascinated by, like, what would I do if I was homeless? I used to think about things like, where would I go? What bridge would I sleep under? How would I get food?
My
I have this, like,
gosh.
plan that I would
Bridge dweller.
Yeah, bridge dweller. I would go into, like, hotels. 'Cause you know, like, some, like, rich hotels, they have, like, you know, little hors d'oeuvres or
Yeah.
little tiny snacks
Oh,
that
and they
like
always
hang out
have
in the
like
hallway.
lemon water out.
Exactly.
Like, you'd always be hydrated.
That's what I would do. And I would just try to not look homeless. Like, I act as if I was a patron of the hotel.
That's
No.
a really good idea. I've actually never really considered that.
Walmart, the aisles of Walmart, is if you were a shopper and just eat the food. You know, secretly, like, put it in your pocket and, like,
That's
take a little
probably
bite.
easy to do at Walmart.
Probably so.
Probably.
That's how I would get food. So anyway, I found that part fascinating, like how she lived her life as a hobo.
Yeah. I enjoyed Lee's point of view as well. And I particularly liked when she did meet Jesse and their like romantic encounter started, because I was like, huh, you met her. Like when she was going to his house, not like when she walked out. Actually, kind of like when she left the diner and they just like got it on.
Oh my God,
In the
outside
back parking lot.
Yes.
And the
That was
other,
crazy.
yeah, and the other worker she was like, oh my God, what if he saw?
And then he showed up at her work and
Yes.
like pinned her against the car, and she was like, "That was weird."
And there was like no gentle
no
love
emotion
about it.
He was like, "I just need you," and he did it and like just left her there.
I know, you think he had feelings for her?
I don't know. That is something I wanted to talk about because I was so confused the whole book. Like, did Jesse care about either of these women? I don't think so.
I think we're supposed to feel that way.
Yeah.
I think the author wanted us to feel like he was just a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think he did
For Lee.
for Lee.
Yeah. More than Hazel, I think.
Hazel was definitely like, I'm gonna get close to her so I can
Yeah.
try
Right.
to kill her.
Or try to get
Because I don't think that boat plan was ever really gonna happen. I think he just told her that. So
Yeah.
she would kill herself so he wouldn't have to do it. He'd still get the money.
That's exactly right.
No guilty
He was just
conscience
going to
there.
let her actually drown.
Yes.
But then Lee came around and fucked the whole thing up.
Fucking Lee
Yeah.
ruined the plan. But for some reason, when I was reading, I was like, I think I mean,
No, I
back
remember feeling that
alleyway
way
or
too.
not, I was like, I think he's into her.
I remember feeling that way too.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Like, I shipped them at first. I was
Yeah,
hurt by him when I found out
I
what he did.
also thought if I was going to cast Jesse,
Mm-hmm.
I had him as Joey from The Bachelor. And then I was like, wait, he's not Joey from Bachelor. Like, in my mind, I was like, he's so cute.
Yeah, because
He's
that's how he was
like,
portrayed at
sweet.
first.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. And then once we found out who he was, you were like, scratch that. He can't be Joey.
If you could pick one character for an exclusive Open Books podcast interview, who would it be, dead or alive?
Oh, that's a
From
great
the book.
question. Who
I like that question a lot.
I want to talk to. Hold up, let me think about it. Jesse. Is that who you're going to say too?
Yes. Or Ben.
Or Ben. Yeah. Jesse, because I do want to know, are you a psychopath? Like, was he a psychopath and did he not love either woman? I think so
And
too.
like Ben, because I want to know like about the
BDSM of it
thank
all?
you.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to know about that. Why Hazel?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you just like why?
Let's talk about the BDSM of it all for a second, because there was a specific aspect in the book that I really do remember they talked about, and it was called the total control.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
And she like signed that contract.
Yes, a total control contract. Is that real? Is that a thing?
I'm sure.
It has to be, because I know that there are like people who are super into that, to each their own, and have relationships like that where like there is a dominant and there is submissive, and there's like this
Submissive is the word I was trying to
Submissive.
think
yes,
of.
and there is like this legit relationship that they follow these rules.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's not forget.
Lest we not forget 50 Shades of Grey. And obviously Ben took it like to the next level, where she signed a contract that it was complete control over everything she did.
Yes.
Could never be me. But you know what? At the same time, she was doing it to save her mom because she loved her mother so much, which I found endearing. And he was rich, and he told her he would pay for her mom's health care.
Yes,
So
exactly.
So like you got to do what you got to do for your mom sometimes.
Is that a legal document? Is it legally
Right.
binding? Or
That-
is it just like between a man and a woman or whatever, you know, your preference is?
Because if it's not a legally binding document, you could be like, yeah, I signed that. I don't mean it though. Like rip
Yeah.
it up.
I guess at that point it becomes like a manipulation tool.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're fearful of being hurt or
Yeah.
what he'll do to you.
Yeah, and he was like super abusive physically and mentally.
He was crazy.
He was psychotic. But like I pictured him as like so hot. Like cuz she kept talking about he was
Same.
so gorgeous.
What color hair?
Dark.
Oh, I picture him as a blondie. Why
Really?
did I go there? Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because it was like beach vibes.
Maybe, but
I pictured him
I
with
think
like
he was described as like
dark
dark. Yeah.
complexion. I pictured him with like pretty dark brown hair. Gorgeous
Oh
dark
my gosh.
eyes.
Ben is the same main character from Hunting Adeline.
literally that's who
It's
I
the
see in my
same
head.
man.
Zayd.
Zayd. So, did you like the book from what we can remember?
Yeah. Yeah. I did like the book, but from what I remember, I remember enjoying reading it. I remember texting about it. I remember being like, oh, I can't put this book down.
Yes,
that's how
I was too.
But after reading the summary and all, I'm like, it was kind of almost
Mid.
a little too twisty. It was like, okay, everyone was lying about who they were, and everyone was actually the one conspiring to murder each other. Like first, it was Hazel conspiring to kill Lee, but then it was Jesse conspiring to kill Hazel, and then Ben was actually conspiring to kill everyone the whole time.
I can see that point, but I really had fun reading it.
Yeah, and that's all that matters. Like now we're just nitpicking.
Yeah,
It was a fun book. It was fine.
It was fine. It is picking up a lot of popularity in our thriller group.
Yeah.
Our psychological thriller
Yeah.
group that we're in. I see everyone's reading it right now.
I know. Like it's got a resurgence.
Yeah,
It is in there a lot.
it isn't. I get notifications about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Next time we will do better. We will be better and we will do
we
better.
had a lot of stuff going on. But
We do.
anyway, so I guess I did like it though.
Yeah.
But talking about it is kind of like mid. Like
That's how I feel too.
I don't think it's gonna be in like my top 5 favorite books of the year
Yeah.
or whatever.
No, and I think that's a testament to the fact that it didn't stick with me that much. Like I feel like I could actually recap The Troop right now if I wanted to. Because it was just so good.
Gosh.
So-
That might be.
Top.
I don't know if I
book?
could put it above Evelyn. Evelyn did something to
Yeah.
my like genetic makeup.
No, like it
I
actually
need
changed
everyone to understand
It
that.
changed your DNA.
It changed my DNA.
Yeah.
But Troop also, and they're 2 different books, so I feel like I can put them in 2 different genre categories.
Definitely.
Like how do I love thrillers? And one of my favorite book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Like it's straight up romance.
That's so interesting.
Like,
there was
make
definitely like
that make
mystery
sense.
to that book.
Yes, but it wasn't a thriller.
No, not by any means. Mine is Looking for Alaska, and I read it in high school, and that's how you know.
It's 6.
That's how you know that it's like your book, because like I remember it literally did something to me. Like I was soulfully connected to this book, and that's how you are
Yes.
with Evelyn Hugo.
You read more from Robyn Harding?
I think I would. Yeah,
I would too. I would do another book.
Yeah. I would give her another shot for sure. I think
sure.
like I remember her like enjoying her writing style. It was fast paced, which is like what we love. So definitely I'll put her up there with authors I want to keep reading.
So how did Nanny feel?
Nanny did not like the book. She thought it was boring.
From the start, she didn't like it.
From the start, she was like, how are y'all finishing this book? Oh my God. She's like, how are y'all finishing this book? I'm bored. I don't like connect to the characters and I don't enjoy it.
Wow.
Nanny did not like the book.
I thought she would have liked the book.
Yeah, me too.
And she didn't. Interesting.
Yep. No.
Well, I do have a 5-star, a 3-star, and a 1-star review. And
Okay.
maybe we'll fall into one of these categories.
Let's hear it.
Here's the 5-star. OMG. This book is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I have never met a Harding book that I didn't love. But wow, I swear this is her best one yet. I wasn't even going to post today, but I need to talk about this book. Is this the year of the hot thrillers or what? Okay, calm down. Phew. So what did I love? Where do I even start? I read this book in less than a day, first of all.
Wow.
Hot damn. Girl. It's super fast read. I found myself thinking about this crafty little game of cat and mouse, which we don't like.
No, we don't like. I don't like a cat and mouse.
No, but
It's like the most annoying
I
trope
don't know
to me.
if I found it very cat and mouse.
Who was chasing who? Yeah.
I got to a major twist and I was like, what? Wait, what? I literally reread it 3 times. Then once I assured myself that this is what was happening, I checked in with my book club to see if they felt the same. I had not been blindsided since. Best to go in blind and enjoy this ride. It was absolutely amazing. My top 10 is filling up fast, but this is definitely on that list, at the top of the list.
I think a lot of people feel like that about this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very twisty.
3-star. My eyes are rolling big time on the Drowning Woman by Robyn Harding. Let me start by saying the start had me in the first part. My heart was aching for Lee, homeless, living in her car, had a shitty job in a diner, ran away from her husband as she could not stand his abuse no more. Moving forward, we find a woman drowning in the ocean. By the way, we got these from Goodreads, so please know.
Yeah.
We didn't write these.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we found a woman drowning in the ocean. Lee saves her, but Hazel didn't want to be saved as she was in a very abusive marriage. The two strike up a friendship and plan to disappear from their abusive husbands. This is when my eye rolls start. Number 1, why would you put up with this crap and what enticed them to these men anyway? 2, why would you deceive your friend when they were in trouble? Really, the mind boggles. Then the boyfriend of one of them is working in cohorts with the other. By the time, I thought I had seen it all. To sum this up, I was invested in Lee and Hazel up to part 2, but by then I thought this is way too over the top for Robyn Harding's books. Are either a hit or they're a miss for me. I am undecided on this one. My thoughts are everywhere.
Okay, I think this is where I fall.
Like a 3-star right
Yes.
in the middle.
And I agree that they had me in the first half. I was invested in Lee and Hazel. I wanted to know what was going to happen. I remember now feeling a little eye-rolly when it's like the boyfriends were in cahoots the whole time. Everyone was actually lying to each other.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying to kill each other. I was like, okay, you're kind of losing me here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember feeling that way. So I think I fall in the same category as this person.
Okay, you want to see if you agree with this 1-star?
Yeah.
I enjoyed The Perfect Family and loved the arrangement by this author, but The Drowning Woman was a huge letdown.
Wait, so was The Perfect Family another book that she wrote?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the arrangement.
Okay.
The book starts off well enough with Lee saving Hazel from drowning herself, but the further I read on, the more ridiculous this book got. The author threw in every single thriller, cliche, and then some.
Yeah.
Every single character in this book was a twat. Not one likable one in the bunch. I had no one to cheer for, which like...
I liked Lee.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
of all of them, like I didn't hate Lee.
No, I didn't.
But she might be the only one.
Yeah.
Hazel is the typical damsel in distress, and I just didn't buy it. She is an abused woman with no money, no friends, no employment history, prospects, and no options, yet she has an affair with a man she hardly knows and trusts him explicitly right away. No way that would happen. And Lee starts dating a customer for work, sleeps at his house, has sex with him, trusts him, yet doesn't know his last name or his phone number. Come on, give me a break.
That part threw me off too. Like they never called each other or texted each other. Like what?
No.
This is 20
Right,
something.
like it's a modern book. Like
Yeah.
it's post-COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Post COVID,
It is.
which like
Like it's very modern.
yeah, and like I don't want to read about COVID in a book. I'm glad she didn't harp on
God,
it too
I
much.
know.
But like if a book is gonna revolve around COVID, I will DNF it. Like I don't want to relive that.
No.
No.
There are just too many coincidences in the plot, and the storyline wasn't just over the top, it was downright ridiculous. The lawyer's behavior and the police procedures were not realistic, and it didn't add up at all, which is something I actually didn't like analyze when I was actually reading the book.
No.
The book just missed the mark on all fronts. Same old premise, same old tired trope of woman being taken advantage of in unrealistic ways. This book has a relatively high rating on Goodreads at a 4.39 and many positive reviews. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. Did I happen to read a different book?
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I still think I fall more in line with that 3-star review. Because I'm thinking just about how I felt when I read the book, and like we said, I enjoyed it.
Not like where we're at right now.
But like right now in this moment, I'm like, yeah, it was a little like every twist was like overkill almost.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that wraps up The Drowning Woman.
I think that's it. But we do have our next on the shelf.
Yes, and this time we will read it in the time frame that we give y'all, and we will record the episode in the time frame that we give y'all.
And it's going to be so good.
Yes, it's gonna be fire flames.
It's hot fire flames. Okay, so our next on the shelf is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch.
Yes, that's him. Yeah.
Okay. Dark Matter is a mind-bending, relentlessly surprising thriller from the author of the best-selling Wayward Pines trilogy. Dark Matter is a brilliantly plotted tale that is at once sweeping and intimate, mind-bendingly strange, and profoundly human. A relentlessly surprising science fiction thriller.
Love it.
Which kind of like makes me think of Trope.
Yes. Yes, science fiction. Oh, I'm so excited.
About choices, paths not taken, and how far we'll go to claim the lives we dream of. Jason Desson is walking through the chilly Chicago streets one night, looking forward to a quiet evening in front of the fireplace with his wife Daniela and their son Charlie, when his reality shatters. Are you happy with your life? Those are the last words Jason Desson hears before the masked abductor knocks him unconscious. Before he awakens to find himself strapped to a gurney, surrounded by strangers in hazmat suits. And that's all I'm going to say.
I can't wait.
It sounds so good. But it's all, like, I didn't know this until you told me that it's a series on Apple TV. And now it's, like, popping up all over my feed and my TV,
And I
like,
think
screensaver.
I think the series comes out in May. I think it's like this month.
Wait.
So we need to get on
So
to
we need
it.
to read it, and then we need to watch it, and
Yes.
then
Yes, and that's why I
that'll
think
be a
this
separate.
Yeah,
up.
definitely. But I think that's why this book is going to be so fun to do because one, it just sounds really, really interesting, and two, I love being able to compare book to series, book to movie,
Right.
and we'll be able to do that like with everybody in real time.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So if you've already read this, that's amazing. If you haven't, read it with us, and then we can compare it together.
I'm excited.
And I do want to say I started it and I read that whole first part that you just said where
Yeah.
he's walking down the street and he's like abducted, and it was so intriguing. The writing was very, very good.
Okay, because I haven't started yet because I had to get closure with the Drowning Woman.
I know.
I can fully throw myself into like our next book.
We had to wrap up The Drowning
Had
Woman. So we did it. We wrapped it in a bow, and I'm so excited for this next one. So pick it up, Kindle, audiobook, whatever you like to do, and let's get excited to compare.
Read with us.
Yes. Okay, well, I think that's it. We love y'all so much. Thanks for being
Love you.
patient on The Drowning Woman. Follow on Instagram.
Yes.
That's where we like to interact at Open Books Podcast. Send us your thoughts. Let us know what you think about The Drowning Woman, and especially keep in touch about Dark Matter.
See you soon.